Welcome to the GCSE Maths Advantage. I'm Dr. James Carter, and every episode I'm going to break down one topic, show you where the marks are, and give you a quick win you can use in your next exam, whether you're targeting a grade 7 or pushing for a 9. Let's get into it.
Hook. Imagine this. A straightforward 2-mark question on last year's AQA Higher paper asked for an exact value, and hundreds of students lost both marks. The reason? They left a square root in the denominator or wrote an approximate decimal when the examiner wanted an exact surd. Sound familiar? Stick with me for the next 10 minutes and I'll give you a single routine that fixes that error every time.
Promise and roadmap. In this episode, you'll learn what a surd really is, how to simplify them step by step, how and why to rationalize denominators using conjugates, and what to write in an exam to pick up method marks even if you don't finish. By the end, I'll give you a 10-second check that catches most mistakes. Let's work through this step by step.
The concept. First, what is a surd? Simply put, a surd is a square root, or other root, that can't be simplified to a whole number. For example, root 2, root 3, root 5. Examiners usually want exact answers in surd form, because exactness shows you understand the algebra. Decimals like 1.414 are not accepted when an exact form is requested. So your aim, write the final answer as a simplified surd, not a decimal.
Example 1. Simplify the nested surd. Root 50 minus root 18. Step 1. Factor inside each root. 50 is 25 times 2, 18 is 9 times 2. So root 50 becomes root 25 times 2 equals root 25 times root 2 equals 5 root 2. And root 18 becomes 3 root 2. Now write the subtraction. 5 root 2 minus 3 root 2. Factor out root 2 equals 5 minus 3 root 2 equals 2 root 2. That's the simplified exact form. Here's where the marks are. Clearly show the factoring step and the extraction of the common surd. Examiners love that. Why each step works. Factoring inside a root is valid because the square root of a times b is the square root of a times the square root of b, when a and b are non-negative. Extracting common surd terms is the same algebra as factoring numbers. Treat the square root of 2 as a common factor. Saying this aloud in the exam, or writing a short comment like factor inside roots, can help the examiner follow your method. Let that sink in. Example 2, a slightly trickier simplification. Simplify root 8 plus root 18 minus root 32. Start by factoring. 8 is 4 times 2, so root 8 is 2 root 2. 18 is 9 times 2, so root 18 is 3 root 2. 32 is 16 times 2, so root 32 is 4 root 2. Now combine. 2 root 2 plus 3 root 2 minus 4 root 2 equals 2 plus 3 minus 4 root 2 equals 1 root 2, so answer root 2. This is the sort of question you can do quickly once you see the common factor. Same method, different numbers.
Now, the part that costs marks in papers. Rationalising denominators. The question might give you 1 over square root 3 plus 1 and ask for an exact answer. If you leave the root in the denominator, the mark scheme often loses accuracy marks. The reliable method is to multiply numerator and denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. Work through it. 1 over root 3 plus 1. Multiply top and bottom by the conjugate, root 3 minus 1. So you write root 3 minus 1 over root 3 plus 1 times root 3 minus 1. The denominator becomes root 3 squared minus 1 squared by the difference of squares, equals 3 minus 1 equals 2. So the fraction simplifies to root 3 minus 1 over 2. That's exact and clean. Important. Always show the conjugate multiplication step. That's where an M1 usually comes from.
Why the conjugate works. Multiplying by the conjugate uses a plus b times a minus b equals a squared minus b squared, which removes the cross terms containing roots and leaves a rational number in the denominator. A common slip is multiplying out and then cancelling prematurely. Avoid cancelling across sums. Always simplify the denominator fully before simplifying the fraction.
A trap I see again and again. Students expand the numerator incorrectly or forget to divide each term by the denominator. For example, from root 3 minus 1 over 2, some will write root 3 over 2 minus 1 and lose the second term's division. That's a simple algebra slip, and it costs accuracy. Write each term clearly, root 3 over 2 minus 1 over 2, if you choose to split the fraction.
The exam technique, how the marks map out. For a typical 3-mark Surd question, M1 is awarded for setting up a correct manipulation, for example, showing you multiply by the conjugate or factor inside the root. A second M1 is for carrying out the algebra correctly, expanding or simplifying correctly. A1 is for the correct final exact answer. So even if your arithmetic slips, those first method marks are reachable if you write the right steps. Here's where the marks are. Show multiply by conjugate, show the denominator simplifies to a rational number, then state the simplified exact form. If you run out of time, write what you would do next. For example, in a rationalising question, write multiply numerator and denominator by square root 3 minus 1 and show the first line of multiplication. Examiners will award an M1 for the correct method, even if you don't finish the arithmetic. Write it down, don't just think it. The quick win, a 10-second verification routine you can use on every Surd question. 1. Substitute your simplified Surd back into the original expression if feasible. 2. Check the conjugate sign when rationalising. The conjugate flips the sign between terms. 3. Estimate the decimal value to see if it matches your intuition. For example, if your answer is root 3 minus 1 over 2, quickly approximate root 3 equals 1.732, so numerator equals 0.732 and the whole fraction equals 0.366. If your calculator says something wildly different, recheck arithmetic. Don't skip the check. Memory prompt. Factor, conjugate, check. 3 words to bring to the exam. Factor inside roots to find common surds. Use the conjugate to rationalise denominators, and always do the quick check. That's your quick win for today. That's your quick win for today. If this helped, share it with a friend who's revising. You'll find more worked solutions and revision resources at jcacademyonline.co.uk. Until next time, trust the process and nail that exam. Stay curious.